Hello, welcome back to Silver Archer Tarot. I'm a Sagittarius with the tarot deck who is really excited to be channeling the messages that you need to hear. So today is our New Year's reading. Now, New Year can of course mean the end of the calendar year. I also like to do this reading on my birthday. And if you follow Lunar New Year, if you're a student or in education and you go by the academic year, this reading is for whatever the year means to you. So, we have 7 questions today. For New Year, new insight. So what energy do I need to let go of this year? What energy do I need to welcome this year? What is a challenge I might encounter? What do I need to know to overcome this challenge? What is a blessing I will receive this year? What do I need to do to move more in line with my soul purpose? And then we will pull a spirit animal oracle card to get our theme for the year. So we have got the Ethereal Visions Tarot. My dog is scratching the camera right now, or the whatever that's called, tripod stand. And then we've got the Spirit of the Animals Oracle. Additionally, we have our list of Taylor Swift songs. We'll pull a Taylor Swift song for your year as well. And then these colors actually correspond with these mindfulness cards. So depending on what color you choose, you will get a mindfulness card from either Rest and Balance, Curiosity and Joy, Insight and Awareness, or Kindness. So yeah, we'll see what that is once we get into the reading. So this is a pick a card tarot reading. We've got pile 1, pile 2 in the red, and pile 3 in the green. If you're drawn to a particular pile, go with that. Some people like to pause the video, take a few breaths, decide which pile is calling to them. If you don't like making decisions, I got you. I also have astrology signs here, so I will be assigning astrology signs to each pile as well. Now, let's say you choose pile 1 and then you're a Sagittarius and that ends up in pile 3. Go with whatever pile you're drawn to. So if you're drawn to pile 1, stick with pile 1. Again, this is for people who just don't really want to make a decision with this, which is me on most of these tarot videos that I watch. Okay, so if you've chosen your pile, go to the timestamps down below. If not, I will assign you to a pile. So this is based off of sun sign. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, is that 4? Yep. So in pile 1, our yellow reading, we have got Sagittarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Pisces. Pile 2, our red pile, we have got Aquarius, Virgo, Leo, and Libra, which means our final pile has Gemini, Aries, Cancer, and Capricorn. Interesting how there's 2 C's, 2 L's, and 2 S's here. Huh. So hey, if none of these are calling to you, maybe you go by, if you're an L name, pile 2, S name, pile 1, C name, pile 3. But there's no one right way to pick your pile. So go ahead, choose your pile, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. You were either drawn to the yellow, the number 1, your Sagittarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or Pisces, or maybe you have an S name and we're drawn to that. So as a reminder, we have 6 cards in our tarot spread, and then we've got our spirit animal oracle telling us what the theme for our year is going to be. So let's go ahead, flip over the cards, and figure out what story we are needing to be told. So what's an energy we need to let go of this year? What energy do I need to welcome this year? Interesting. What is a challenge I might encounter? What do I need to know to overcome this challenge? What is a blessing I will receive this year? What do I need to do to move more in line with my soul purpose? 7 of Wands in reverse. And then our theme for this year, the animal, elephant, greatness. Alrighty. Something that's interesting is a few of these cards I've never actually pulled before in a tarot reading. So this is fascinating. Okay, so what energy do I need to let go of this year? First, let's just look at this overall. I see some cups energy. That can mean relationships, emotions. I also see a lot of wand energy, especially when it comes to overcoming things, blessings, and what you need to do this year. And wand energy is more about starting a creative endeavor, a hobby, a business, putting work in, but not necessarily for like work or career purposes per se. Hold on 1 second. My dog is chewing something she shouldn't be. Okay, hello. Sorry about that. Alrighty, so let's get to your reading. So an energy you need to let go of this year is the Queen of Cups. Now, Queen energy is oftentimes very secure, very emotionally mature, but also giving back to others or like paying it forward in a way. So we can see she's very confident in that. She's confident in her worth. She's very go with the flow. That's what I get. I get a lot of water energy from this. You can see the fish or someone in the background. Her curls kind of reminds me of like Little Mermaid when she's under water and curls just flow so nicely. So for what energy do you need to let go of this year? Do you feel like you go with the flow too much? Do you feel like you've been focusing more on filling other people's cup instead of your own? I'm getting something with like emotions or relationships need to change. So that's something that you need to let go of. Let me know how that's resonating for you down below. With a lot of this wand energy, with like what we need to move into this year, I feel like this is a lot of pouring into you and your wants and your desires, your needs. And I'm wondering if so far, or if maybe this year, you've been focused on mentoring others, supporting others. Maybe friends or family have been going through, a hard time and you've given a lot of energy to the support. I'm not saying you have to stop supporting people altogether, but I think you need to shift some of that energy and ensure that you're investing in yourself. I can think of a few things. If, let's say, something's happening in your family, someone needs a lot of support right now, is there a way you can kind of spread that support around? Instead of you taking everything, can you put something on your siblings or ask your cousins or aunt or uncle, whoever it might be? Can you ask other people to also help contribute to that? If this is work related, maybe you've been mentoring a lot of people and mentoring them, guiding them through their own projects, but you haven't been able to pursue projects of your own or really advance your career and do the things you need to do for that because you've been so focused on helping others achieve that. Let me know if that's resonating for you. Because what energy do I need to welcome? The Four of Cups. Now, as we can see, this guy has 3 cups in front of him, but he's focusing. I feel like this is kind of a dream state. He's meditating, he's focusing on something that he doesn't have. Now, a lot of times we can look at this and perceive it in a negative way of you're missing what's right in front of you because you're focusing on something else. But the fact that you need to welcome in this energy makes me think that you need to take time to meditate, pray, focus, dream, build intentions about what it is that you want. Again, I think there's been a lot of energy being poured into other people. And so I think now is the time where you need to think about, what do you want? 4s can also symbolize building a foundation of some sort. So I'm wondering if you can start thinking about yourself, thinking about what you truly want, and then also thinking about the next step for you to get there to be fulfilled. Because what you've got right now is not fulfilling you, and that's okay. I think sometimes we preach, contentment, and there's definitely seasons where it's like, hey, you gotta be grateful, be content. But as humans, we oftentimes want to grow. We want to feel like we have meaning and purpose in our lives. And so there's nothing wrong with taking a moment to evaluate and go, okay, what do I want? How do I get there? That doesn't have to be a selfish thing by any means. So what's a challenge you might encounter? The Tower. Again, while this is the first time I've ever pulled this card, but basically what the Tower means is things get shaken up. You're in for a twist. This guy falling off the tower was not expecting it. There's lightning in this, there's a storm, and knocks you off your feet. So this typically means like the shake of the foundation. Like I said, 4 can talk about building that foundation. The Tower is often about shaking the foundation. Something's going to be shaken up. So who knows, maybe it's even like I don't know, maybe you've become really like comfortable at work, maybe you're like really comfortable focusing on other people. And then maybe your boss comes along and says, well, that's great, but actually you're going to get fired if you don't start having, these projects that we, hired you to do. That's great, you're looking out for others, but like, we need you to focus on this, right? It might be something like that. It could be, I don't know, it could even be like you're thrown off when it comes to a relationship. Maybe something changes there. Could be a big change like a move or changing jobs. It can also be smaller things though too. Anything that's like rocking the foundation. Changing your beliefs, catching you off guard. Yeah, I'm curious. Because we've got this Cups energy on top. And then we're saying something's going to change. And then moving forward, we've got this Wand energy, which is like really investing time back into yourself. I wonder if maybe, hope this doesn't happen. But it could be that you are mentoring someone and pouring so much energy into them. And then they like reject that or don't want that anymore. And you're like, whoa, that's a change because I've put so much time and energy into you. Like, why are you not appreciative? Could be something like that. But something's going to be a wake-up call for you that things need to change. And I think this is going to cause you to start focusing on yourself more. Again, not in a negative way, but in a, am I feeding my heart, my desires, my wants, my needs? Am I setting myself up for where I want to be someday? So how do you overcome this challenge? Or what do you need to know to overcome this challenge? In the 8 of Wands, we see that this woman is in movement. She's not sitting still like our earlier 4 of Cups, where they're really just like sitting, meditating, focusing, thinking. She is in movement. 8s can also represent this idea of reaping what you sow, but in a very like positive way. Like the hard work that you've put in is coming to fruition. And so you can see she's well on her journey. I will also say the fact that all of this Wand energy, it's higher numbers, which makes me think that maybe there was just a pause in your hobby, focusing on yourself, your creative endeavor, whatever that is. I think there was a pause in it, but I don't think you're like starting something from scratch. For me, I've had YouTube channels like throughout the years, and I was really consistent from about like posting at least a video a week from 2014 into 2020. And then I've just needed to take breaks from it, and now I'm back and being consistent. But I have that, again, I've been doing this since 2014. So I've got 11 years of experience. So even though, yes, it was a change for me to jump back into YouTube content creation again, I wasn't starting from scratch with it, like from understanding YouTube or this hobby. Doing tarot readings, new endeavor, but YouTube itself was not new for me. So is there something like that for you? Have you you've drafted a novel and you haven't returned to it in a while? Or you used to do creative writing and you have more ideas for books, but But yeah, you just haven't, again, like focused on that in a while. Like open up that Google Doc or your Scrivener or wherever you've got it saved. Were you really into baking? Did you take cooking classes? And then for a while, you've just kind of fallen into the rhythm and routine. You're like, you know what? I actually do really love trying new recipes and baking new things. So how are you going to overcome the switch up? Return to your roots and get back to creating in whatever way that means for you. And again, I think this is a hobby that you've already had before. I think this is something you're already well versed in. And so it's not going to be this crazy ordeal to like pick it back up again. Okay. And what is a blessing you're going to receive this year? Queen of Wands energy. So she is confident. She feels so good. She knows she's put in the work. Again, with whatever this creative or hobby, whatever that is that you've been putting in the work for, it's going to come to fruition with something. Maybe it's your YouTube channel. You find a bunch of, okay, I'm going to say success, but I don't mean necessarily that you're going to get like 1 million subscribers. I mean, you are going to feel fulfilled in that. So yeah, let's use that word, fulfillment. You're going to find fulfillment by returning to whatever creative activity or hobby or self-care, whatever that self-care activity was that you did for you that just feeds your soul. It's going to bring you so much contentment and fulfillment. Again, with Queen energy, we oftentimes get like moving or paying it forward. So there could be some of that, but since that is an energy you need to let go of, is the idea of like putting others ahead of yourself, I would be a little bit wary about that. Like just use what you've learned from this last year to, I don't know if control is the right word, but like don't say yes to everything, right? Make sure it's continuing to like feed your soul. Because mentorship, if you're like me, you do love that and you love teaching and you love helping people out. So that can certainly be fulfilling, but you can't pour from an empty cup, right? Something with the Queen of Wands as well, we've got some flowers here, which makes me think about, you know, growing something, nurturing something to full bloom. Back to the idea of maybe you're writing a book, you've got a YouTube channel, you love to bake, maybe gardening, maybe it's literally bloom, flowers, that this is going to be for you. I also like that there's a cat and then lions here. Obviously, I know those are two, like cats don't grow up to be lions, but it makes me think of maybe different versions of yourself. Like when you were originally doing this activity, creative endeavor, whatever it is that feeds your soul, I feel like you were one version of yourself, and after this break that you've had, you're another version of yourself. A more confident version of yourself. You know your worth, you know what you're doing. Ah, love that. Okay, so what do I need to do to move more in line with my soul purpose? Okay, 7 of Wands in reverse. So this can mean that the energy is blocked or very internalized. So with the 7 of Wands, we see he is so focused on working. And this cross makes me think that he's even defensive about this work that he's doing. Like if someone questions, why are you writing this book? Then 7 of Wands energy is at the point where it's like, because I like it, because it's fulfilling, because I'm an author. Like you're not giving into, yeah, I don't know if it'll amount to anything. Like you're confident in what you're doing. So much so that you're willing to defend it if people are questioning you on it. So with this being reversed, it makes me think that possibly, again, given that you've been putting so much time into others and you've clearly taken a break from whatever hobby or soul fulfillment this is. Again, 7 of Wands is is taking action and being, I think with this in reverse, it means you need to be more open and acknowledging of what it is that brings you joy and fulfillment that you're going to start devoting more energy to. So what do you need to do to move more in line with your soul purpose? Start putting in that energy. And don't just let it be like oh, if I have time, if after I've done everything for everyone else, like then I'll see if I have a few moments or some energy to do it. Like, no, be protective over your time and energy to fulfill this, so that you can put energy towards this. I'm not saying you necessarily have to tell everyone, hey, I bake and I do new recipes and blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't have to like shout it from the rooftops kind of a thing. But I think you need to be protective over your time. And of course, sometimes we need to like, we might have a weekend plan to do something, it gets changed, or like, there's like an event with friends, or someone needs a ride to the airport or something. I'm not saying only put yourself above others in all circumstances, but I'm saying you need to carve out time and do your best to protect it. So if Thursday evenings is when you do your new recipe and your friend says, hey, you want to go out to happy hour on Thursday? I want you to get to the point where you can either say, yes, I am making my new recipe, but that should be over by 7. I can meet you after. Or you say, oh, actually tonight I'm making my new recipe. How about we do tomorrow night? Like, I want you to not keep letting other people's needs come above your own. Again, not with anything. I'm not saying be a jerk. I'm not saying never help out your friends or neighbors or anything like that. Stuff comes up, obviously. I mean, if the idea of like, if you want to be a part of a community, you got to be a part of a community, right? But I would like you to at least somewhat advocate for yourself, right? And maybe your friend in that circumstance says, oh, actually, I'm going out of town tomorrow. Tonight's the only night I have for happy hour. Could you do your recipe tomorrow night? And if it works for you and your schedule to do your recipe tomorrow night, you say, okay, yeah, we can switch. But then the next night, I don't want another friend saying, hey, you want to do this? Like, then I want you to still make sure you're carving out time for your hobby. So flexibility, yes, important, but also at least get to the point where you're advocating for yourself, carving out that time, and being open to others that like, actually, I do have plans, but I can meet up after. Or again, whatever that might be. Okay, I think this is a good reading. So let's see your theme for this year with your spirit animal oracle. Elephant, greatness. Love is your strength. Leadership is your path. Your wisdom inspires everyone you meet. You can overcome any problem. You will naturally and easily achieve success. That explains why there's so much queen energy, honestly, with the like leadership idea. I feel like that may just be a part of you, that you really like giving back, pouring into others. And hey, you can continue to do that this year. It also says you will naturally and easily achieve success. Sorry, my dog is growling at a dog outside. So you will naturally and easily achieve success. With these being, again, those higher numbers, you're well on your journey. So I don't think it's like, oh, I just snapped my fingers and I'm successful. I think you've already put in the hard work, so you know what it means to be successful in this area, whatever that means to you. Whatever that means to you. Awesome, I'm excited for you this year. Put a little bit more, priority on yourself. And again, that doesn't mean never doing anything for anyone else. It just also means that you're carving out your 15 minutes a day or whatever it might be. Maybe more. But at least start with that for feeding yourself, your wants, your needs, your creativity. Okay, let's pull a Taylor Swift song. Represents your year. Okay. Love story. Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting. All there's left to do is run. You'll be the prince and I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby. Just say yes. I feel like this love story though is between you and your again, activity or endeavor, whatever this is that is like feeding your soul. I feel like you're finally saying yes to that. Okay, we chose a yellow card. So in mindfulness, in my mindfulness cards deck, that is insight and awareness. So we're gonna pull an insight and awareness card. See the screen. When we're watching TV, at a movie, or using our devices, we tend to focus on what is on the screen rather than the screen itself. Next time you're watching something on a screen, try including the screen itself as part of what you see. Notice what it feels like to include the screen in your viewing experience. The simple practice is a powerful metaphor for how our minds can get sucked into the content of our own thoughts, rather than taking a bigger view and looking at the nature of our awareness itself. Interesting. See the screen. So be mindful about what you're paying attention to and why you're paying attention to it. If you're thinking to yourself this whole time, I don't know how I'm gonna get 15 minutes to do what I want, be mindful about like, how are you spending your day-to-day time? How much of it is literally staring at screens? How much of it is pouring into other people? How much is pouring into things that really don't fulfill you or serve your purpose? Again, such as mindless scrolling, looking through the news. Maybe you're in a habit of looking at email even when you come home from the day, even if you don't have to or don't need to. Unless you're a freaking surgeon who has a pager and you're in a life or death situation, you do not need to be doing work when you get home from work. Okay. That's my 2 cents. But I love this. Just be more mindful and aware. And I feel like this goes with your 4 of Cups of like, okay, the first thing you have to do this year, you have to set your intentions for this year. You have to go, what's working and what's not? What do I have? Where do I want to be? What am I currently spending my time on? How could I change my habits and activities to make sure I'm working towards, this goal or including it in my life? Awesome. Okay, well, really good luck with this year, pile 1. I'm excited for you. I think it's going to be a good year. I think it's going to be a shakeup as you're adjusting, prioritizing things in your life. So sorry, pile 1. I keep pausing. My memory card ran out. Okay. But it's going to be a shakeup for you. So try not to think, well, if I can't do an hour a day, if I can't do 30 minutes a day, then I'm a failure. Start with 5 minutes a day. Start with 15 minutes every other day. Like, start really small, but get back into what it is in the past filled you with joy, filled you with contentment, and a feeling of fulfillment. Alrighty, have a good year. Let me know how this resonates. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your new year, new insight reading. So today we have got 6 tarot cards and then our spirit animal oracle card. We will also pull a Taylor Swift song later on, and we will pull a mindfulness card as well at the end of the reading. So you are pile 2, or you chose red, or your sun sign is Aquarius, Virgo, Leo, or Libra, or your first name starts with an L and you were drawn to this pile. Don't worry if you chose pile 2 or red and you are not one of these signs. There are so many ways to pick a pile, so whatever you are drawn to, that message is for you. Alrighty, so let's get into the reading. So what energy do I need to let go of this year? What energy do I need to welcome this year? What is a challenge I might encounter? What do I need to know to overcome this challenge? What is a blessing I will receive this year? And what do I need to do more to move in line with my soul purpose? finally, your theme for this year, Bumblebee. Community, also a known hard worker. Love. Okay. Let's just take a look at the spread here. You have a lot of Arcana cards. Fool, Justice, Judgment. You've got some sword energy as well. You got the sword, yeah, and 3 of these cards. And the Nine of Wands. It's kind of beat up over here. Okay, so let's get into the reading. So what energy do I need to let go of this year? And that is the Fool. So the Fool is this card that basically says, be open to the universe and where it's going to take you, right? Jump before looking, just trust. The fact that you need to let go of this energy this year makes me wonder if you've been a little too like, well, if God wants it to happen, it'll happen, instead of like making a plan and taking steps to make the thing happen. Or, well, if God wants me to meet the man of my dreams, that'll happen for me. Yet you sit at home, you never go out in public. When you do go out in public, you've got AirPods in, you're no eye contact. You're not on dating apps, you're not trying to meet new people, right? So it could also be, yeah, again, literally this could be anything where you're like, if it's meant to be, it'll happen, instead of putting in any kind of energy. Something that's coming to mind is like, maybe you've written a book and maybe you've put excerpts of it on the internet, or you've reached out to a few agents and no one's picked it up yet. You're like, well, if it's meant to be, it'll happen, instead of, let me continue querying agents. Let me get more beta readers, see if maybe there's anything I need to edit. It's gonna be the same if you're like, oh, I'm just gonna post music content on social media and I'm gonna get picked up by recording artists, instead of maybe trying to figure out how to make connections in the industry. So the Fool can be a beautiful thing, but I think it can be problematic if we're just saying, God's got me. Okay, don't take this out of context. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to say God's got you, but I'm saying expecting something to happen while putting 0 effort into it or taking 0 steps is not always the right move. So is there an area of your life where you feel like you've just been like, whatever happens will happen, instead of actively pursuing a goal? Okay. So what energy do I need to welcome this year? We've got the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords, you can see he's sitting here contemplating. He's gonna make a decision. There's 2 other guys in the picture over here, and they have red on their back. Now, these swords don't have any red on it, but one interpretation could be maybe, you know, this guy did fight with these people, right? Have this conflict. And now he's thinking about it. Was it really worth it? So I think, how do we translate this to what energy do I need to welcome in this year? I think more consideration. Again, think like connecting it to the Fool of what role are you playing in your life? And again, are there times where you're maybe reacting or lashing out at people or blaming other people when like you also had a say in this, or you do have control and you're just not wanting to admit it? So what do we need to welcome in? I think more reflection about yourself and your actions. And again, connecting it to the Fool, shift your perspective from like, this is happening to me, to I am actively moving through the world and I have a say in where I go. We also have a say in our reactions, right? Sometimes I've heard things that are like, well, you can't predict how someone's going to like treat you, but you are in control of how you respond to that treatment. And hey, this could even be in that relationship context. Maybe you're in a relationship and you're like, well, oh God, I don't want to break up anybody, but maybe you're in a relationship that you shouldn't be in. You're like, well, no external circumstances have like broken us up so far. Or there's nothing been so bad that I need to like leave them. But I'm wondering if now you should think about, okay, when I've held a boundary, have they respected it? When I've expressed a need, have they listened? And vice versa. Am I respecting them in this relationship? When they place a boundary, how am I reacting to it? So it goes both ways. I think a lot of introspection is needed and consideration of your responses to things and your decisions and actions. Okay. So what's a challenge that you might encounter? We've got judgment. And then what do I need to know to overcome this challenge? We've got the Knight of Swords. So with judgment, with the tens in tarot, that usually represents like the ending of a cycle, but the ending of the cycle also means the beginning of something else. So day has to end for us to have night. Summer ends and we have fall. The school year ends and you get summer break and then you start the next school year and you level up. And that's what with judgment is this idea of also like leveling up. Like you've been in this cycle before, but you know how to handle it. So a challenge you might encounter is, I think, a challenge that you've had before. But this time you either learn from how you handled it last time, or you learned about the situation, and you have a better idea now of how you would want to approach this situation again. And honestly, I'm wondering if it's connected to this Five of Swords energy. Maybe you've been really just like reactive at things instead of considering, taking your time to respond. And so you're going to be faced with the same challenge again, and you're going to have that opportunity this time to respond in a different way. Respond in a better way. Tackle this challenge. It depends on what the challenge is. Maybe with more grace, maybe with being more assertive than you were last time. And what you need to know to overcome this challenge, we see the Knight of Swords here, and knights indicate taking action. And with this guy, I feel like he is on the ball and he is so focused, he's determined, yet his horse is like, really? You're making us do this? So what do you need to know to overcome this challenge? Move forward, you do you, move through the situation, even if other people are like kind of questioning it. Like base it off of how you learned the last time. And be confident in the fact that like, I've been through this before, I learned a lot through that experience, I'm using that to influence the behaviors and the actions I'm taking this time around. And I'm gonna be confident in that. And hey, if it leads to another learning opportunity, then it leads to another learning opportunity. But at least I'm not being pushed around by the universe or by other people anymore. I'm taking ownership of my decisions. Interesting. So what's a blessing you will receive this year? Justice. So with Justice, we see she's got the scales. She's, obviously that means like balance, weighing options, weighing choices. Justice is very deliberate. Justice does not emotionally react to things. They take in all of the information and make a judgment that they think is fair, that they think is best. They weigh the pros and the cons before making their decision and standing by that and thinking that this is the good, truth-worthy decision that they can trust and leads to a fair outcome, a balanced outcome, more equal outcome. So I think this year for you, it's going to be a lot of introspection, not just reacting to things. You're faced with, challenges that you have faced before. The universe is giving you an opportunity to react differently. The universe is giving you an opportunity to show, I have grown, I have matured, because how I'm handling this time is way different than last time. And what's going to happen is through this process of you being aware, of you taking accountability, of you considering your actions in a situation, I think it's going to make you a person who overall is making better decisions and has better judgment in decision making. And oh my goodness, I feel like it takes a hot minute to get good judgment, to gain wisdom, right? You have to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes in order to grow and be wiser. And so I think you're getting that opportunity. And what it's going to do for you is make you a better decision maker. You're going to be better at evaluating situations. I think this is going to make you better in all areas of life, in work, in friendships, relationships. Again, back to this Five of Swords, more of that taking that personal accountability, not just relying on the universe or letting life happen to you. I think you're also going to gain a better balance of that. While this year might be a lot of thinking or a lot of consideration, deliberation, over time that'll get easier. You won't have to think so hard about it, right? As you continue to go through these cycles, you do the behavior, you learn what works, what doesn't. You don't have to focus so hard on it. It's like if you've, played a sport and the first time you're doing a move of some sort, say you're bumping a volleyball. At first, you have to really focus on what is my hand placement? Are my arms, flat? Are they not moved to the side? It takes a lot for your body to get used to that and get used to what is the right way to do this. You have to think really hard on it. And then over time, as you do this over and over and over and over again, it becomes muscle memory and you don't have to think about it so hard. And so I feel like that's what's going to happen for you is, yes, this year might be a lot of, I need to think, I need to introspect, I need to meditate, I need to pray. This isn't a life sentence of this. It's just the idea that you have to be aware of something first before you realize, hey, this is an issue and this is how I can change it. Because if you're not aware of why something is happening in your life, then you don't know how to fix it. So I think, yes, a lot of awareness at first, but overall it's going to make you much stronger when it comes to decision making, balance, good judgment, which we need more of in this world. So that's awesome that this is going to happen for you this year. You're going to grow so much through this. So what do I need to do to move more in line with my soul purpose? We've got the Nine of Wands here. The Nine of Wands is about continuing on the road that you're on, putting in the work, you've built that foundation and you feel confident in it. And even though you're a little beat up, you're yeah, look at what I've done and what I've built, and I'm going to keep going. So even if you're feeling a little beat up on this journey, keep moving forward with it. That's part of it. That's part of life. Things do not typically come easy. Things are not typically without burden, without setbacks. That's very normal. So, well, yes, there are things that you need to like change here. Like there's clearly some cycle. You need to respond to it differently this time than you did last time. At the same time, like just continue on this journey and you will get where you need to go. And it's okay if there's bumps in the roads or setbacks. It does not mean you're on the wrong path. Okay. So what's your theme for this year? We've got the B, community. You are a powerful creator. Your work blesses everything you touch. Be open to receiving sweetness. You are the queen of abundance. With B's as well, we know that they are really hardworking and they work together for a common purpose, a common goal. Bees also have crazy instincts. Crazy instincts. So yeah, I think part of this year too is, again, getting in touch with you and your instincts and your thoughts. And I also like this to be open to receiving sweetness. I know we're about to pull a Taylor Swift song, but the Taylor Swift song that's coming to mind right now is Opalite. And if you've heard her talk about it, she talks about how opal is a naturally found, oh God, is it a gem? I'm not sure. But opal is naturally occurring. Opalite is man-made. And in the song, she talks about basically the idea of like, when times are tough, sometimes you have to make your own happiness. And making your own happiness just means that, you know, for example, today it is so freaking cold outside. But it's really sunny today. And so I'm choosing to focus on, I'm so happy that it's sunny and bright outside today. I'm so happy that it's winter and it's bright and it's sunny and I can see, even though it's freezing. So be open to receiving the sweetness. I think also look for the good in the world too. Not, oh my God, it's so cold. Why does God hate me? It's so cold outside. But also going, hey, but I'm going to appreciate it's bright. Yeah, it's cold, not ideal, but it's bright and I'm going to choose to hold on to that sweetness and take this as a gift. Right? That might be part of this kind of changing how you're approaching things or responding, reacting. Okay, let's pull your Taylor Swift song and then your mindfulness card. I mean, I kind of just gave you Opalite, but we'll see if there's another one. Got two. Ooh, all too well. And so high school. I mean, both of these are somewhat about reminiscing. And all too well, she's reminiscing on this relationship and how it impacted her. And she's evaluating what she did in the relationship, what he did in the relationship. So I feel like that could connect to your, the idea of like, how am I, just not like the world's happening to me, but like what am I doing that's influencing how I'm moving through the world. So high school, this is on her Tortured Poets, the Tortured Poets Department album. And this is a song based about Travis Kelce. She found her true love and she's like, oh my God, I feel so high school every time I look at you. Like I feel like I'm a giggly, first love, in love, 16-year-old. I love looking at you, but I'm bashful around you. This just feels so pure. Okay, this isn't so high school related, but it's kind of like Travis Kelce related. She talks about, sorry, I'm a huge Swiftie. No, I'm not gonna apologize for it. Not sorry. Maybe this channel isn't for you if you're not a Swiftie. No, you don't have to be a Swiftie. Losing audience members here. Okay. But I don't think it's a lyric in So High School. Where's the lyric? Basically, a lot of the Tortured Poets Department album is about how she's kind of made like the wrong decisions. Not the wrong decisions, but like guys have come into her life. She's tried to make it work, but they've been the wrong guys and she's maybe made some wrong decisions in there. But Travis Kelce, like, he's different, and this relationship was so different to everything she had had before. They even like approached it differently. Like everything about it. So yeah, I think this is also just speaking to take this year, just try a different approach to things and see how it works out. I think it's going to work out well for you. I think you're going to grow so much as a person. But similarly to how, yeah, Taylor Swift ended up dating a guy who reached out to her through a podcast or on his podcast, right? Just kind of spoken to the ether. And then his friends reached out to her and were like, hey, I can vouch for him. He's actually a good guy. Like, that was so different. And dating an athlete, like, that was very different for her. But ended up being like love of her life, right? So it's okay to do things differently. First, we got to reflect and be like, okay, what was my role in this? What were other people's roles in this? But then be willing to take the chance to approach things differently, because it could lead to something so much better, right? Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different response. Okay, so you chose red, so let's choose a mindfulness card. So red is curiosity and joy. So let's just grab a card from there. See nature. Recognizing how the natural world and the human-made world are intertwined can bring great joy and appreciation. When we take the time to see nature and the environment around us, it opens us up to a sense of wonder. Take some time to explore your surroundings and look for nature in unexpected places. A tree, a bird, a flower, a gorgeous sunset, a drop of rain. Once you train your mind to see small moments of beauty, you can cultivate moments of joy in everyday life. Did we not literally just talk about this? Okay, so yes, I think part of your journey this year in like, okay, I don't want to say retraining your brain, but in being open to approaching things differently is also being mindful about all the like positive things that are happening too, right? The world is not happening to you. You have agency, but we can also take a moment to be like, wow, it's sunny today. Wow, that flower is so beautiful. Wow, this pond that we walk around is just so lovely to look at. Yeah. I don't know, there's little ducks in my neighborhood when I go for walks around ponds. I love just watching them. I think they're so cute. Anyway, that's kind of a tangent. But, okay. Pile 2, this was your reading. Let me know how it resonates with you. Do you know maybe what the cycle is that you need to approach differently this time? I'd be so curious to know. Regardless, I hope you guys have a wonderful year, a wonderful day. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to see more. Share it with your friends as well if they're into tarot card readings. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, Pile 2. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your new year, new insight reading. So you either were drawn to the fact that this is Pile 3, the green card, or you're a Gemini, Cancer, Aries, Capricorn, or your first name starts with a C. Now, it only needs to be one of those. You do not have to be one of these astrology signs, etc. for this to be your pile. There are many ways to pick a pile. So I'm so glad that you're here. Let's see, Pile 3, what this next year has in store for you. So we've got our 6 tarot cards. We've got our spirit animal oracle. We will choose a mindfulness card at the end, as well as a Taylor Swift song. So, what energy do I need to let go of this year? What energy do I need to welcome this year? What is a challenge I might encounter? What do I need to know to overcome this challenge? Jesus, how much? Multiple king energies here, wow. What is a blessing I will receive this year? What do I need to move? What do I need to do to move more in line with my soul purpose? And then your animal, raccoon, inventor. Okay. This reading honestly makes so much sense to me. Okay, let's jump into it. Energy you need to let go of this year, 8 of Swords. I think you're feeling helpless about something when in reality, you have control over the situation. That's what I think. In the 8 of Swords here, we can see she is all tied up. Her eyes are blindfolded. But when you really look at it, her arm, she can get out of this really easily. She could reach up and pull that blindfold off of her. She could get out of these ropes. For some reason, she's in a victim mentality when really she has full control over the situation. Funnily enough, this is almost exactly what the Devil card is about. The Devil card is this idea that something has a pull on you. Sometimes it can be more intense things like addiction. It can also be that you are just letting other things have more say in your life than they should be. Or it can be that you spend a lot of time scrolling and you're like, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to eat well. And it's like, babe, your screen time is 12 hours a day. I think you do have time to do those things, right? So awareness that like, okay, wherever you're at in life right now, you actually have control over it. I'm so fascinated to know what this is about. I'll be honest, I keep getting this card when I try to do a love reading on myself. Like weeks apart, I will do a love reading and I'm like, what do I need to know? And I keep getting 8 of Swords and I'm like, what does this mean? Yeah, I don't know. Tell me if you know what this means if 8 of Swords keeps coming up in your love life. But again, energy you need to let go of. You're actually more in control of things than you think. You're more in control of your schedule. You're more in control of what you eat and how much time you spend outside and how much time you see friends. Yeah, whatever you feel like, oh, this is lacking in my life, I don't have it. Well, when's the last time you've put effort into it? When's the last time you've sent your friend a text and said, hey, I want to catch up on the phone. Are you free this weekend? If you want to have a sense of community, have you tried going to coffee shops? Have you tried connecting with coworkers outside of work? Have you gone to church? Have you talked to your cashier at the grocery store? So whatever you feel like in life right now, whatever you feel like you're lacking, and I do not mean this, by the way, like I do not mean this in like a trivial way at all. I don't mean like, oh my God, you're complaining. I understand the yearn for things can be very real. I just moved to my new location a couple months ago. Well, I think it's like 4 or 5 months now. But anyway, I've been so yearning for like community, relationships, and like friendships, colleagues, romantic relationships. And I feel like I've been putting in effort, but it's still hard, you know? So I'm not saying by any means if you're like, oh, what are you lacking in life? I understand that you can be yearning for things and it can like not be happening. But I'd encourage you to take some time and sit down and go, okay, what have I actually been doing to make progress in this area of life? Also, I don't know if I love the lighting for this video right now. I don't know. I moved it to be different. Okay, that's better. Okay, so that's what I think you need to let go of. So what energy do I need to welcome in this year? The King of Cups. No, Knight of Cups, sorry. Upside down. Now, with things upside down, it can just mean that like it's blocked or maybe you're not like outwardly expressing it. I will also say if you're ever watching a tarot video and they're like, but this other person said that upside down cards mean something different, there are multiple ways to interpret upside down cards. And typically what's recommended is before you do the reading, you just decide what is going to be my meaning for that. So in today's reading, I've decided it's either that this energy is blocked for you, or you're inwardly expressing it, or kind of like inwardly thinking about it, but not like outwardly expressing about it or thinking about it or attributing things to it. So yeah, if you're like other tarot readers say different things, well, there's multiple ways to interpret. But with the Knight of Cups, Cups is a card that can represent emotions, it can represent relationships and fulfillment, like in that area of life. We see there's water energy with him, which makes me think of emotions. But the Knight of Cups is very like heart on his sleeve. Loves love. Loves love. But yeah, very heart on his sleeve, and like, you know, yes, there's always the risk of like being hurt, but the reward is greater than the risk, so I'm gonna take that risk. Like the potential positives that I can get from this situation outweigh any potential negatives, right? If you are sitting in a coffee shop and you're afraid to make eye contact with someone who's cute, the worst that's gonna happen is they're gonna break their eye contact with you, right? Maybe roll their eyes. Maybe that's the worst that's gonna happen. Maybe worst that's gonna happen is they like yell at you. Okay, that'd be weird. I don't think that's actually gonna happen. The best that could happen is they smile. They make eye contact, they smile back, they come over, start a conversation. Maybe you become friends or end up dating, right? Like the potential positives are so much better than I might make eye contact with this person and they might stop making eye contact with me. Or I want to ask this person out on a date. What's the worst that can happen? They say no. What's the best that can happen? We end up getting married and are in love and have kids and live happily ever after, right? So with the Knight of Cups, so heart on his sleeve, and that's an energy you need to welcome in this year. It's in reverse, so let's think about that. Maybe you haven't been doing this so far. Maybe that's been blocked. Or maybe internally you've been like, yeah, here are things that I want, but like too afraid to express it. And maybe that's where this is coming in as well with the Eight of Swords, is you're like, I'm so helpless. I want this, but I don't know how to get it. But maybe if you just were outward and saying what you want, maybe your friend would go, what, you want a boyfriend? I had no idea. My brother is single. I think you guys would get along. Or being open about, hey, I really want to find a sense of community. Do you know? And you being like, I don't know, do you like ask your coworkers, ask any friends, ask any connections that you have, hey, do you know of ways I can get plugged into the community? Do you have any ideas for me to meet people my age? Like, this is something that I am really wanting in life. So yeah, recognize that you can take steps, but other people can also take those steps to help you if they know what you're wanting. And again, I just think the risk of rejection, I think we need to take this Knight of Cups energy. The risk of rejection is worth the potential positives that could come from being open, wearing our heart on our sleeve, pursuing whatever this is that you're wanting so bad, that you're feeling really trapped about, feeling like you have no control over, but that you think would be so fulfilling for you and your heart just wants it. And again, could be socially, relationship-wise, community-wise. I don't think from this reading, though, it necessarily has to be that. But I think it's something that your heart wants, and only you are going to know what that means by your heart wants this. Interesting. Okay, moving on. What is a challenge that you might encounter? How do we overcome that challenge? So King of Pentacles, it represents like having it made. He's really confident. Pentacles can mean things like, it could be it's like physical things. So whereas cups is like relationships, community, emotions, this is more like money, or even like health, fitness, career driven, having a house, something like that. So potential challenge, I mean, it's possible you'll be focusing so hard. He's kind of gripping this pentacle here. It's possible you're focusing so hard on maybe what you do feel like you have control over. If this is you feeling like out of control in terms of relationships, even in terms of like creative things that, you know, give you meaning and joy, if you're like, well, I have no say over that, but you know what I can do? I can continue to do well in my career. I can keep working hard. I can keep going to the gym and making sure my health is good. I think that's a challenge you're going to face, is that you're focusing so much on that you're just, this might lead you to ignore these other desires that you have and putting effort into this. Maybe again, because you're afraid of this idea of having your heart on your sleeve and wanting this thing so bad. And instead of risking looking stupid or dumb or wasting time, which I don't know. I think if we're trying to pursue something that we want, I don't think anything there is like a waste of time. Even if something doesn't work out, you learn something from that experience. Maybe you're more confident, or you know how to approach it differently next time. But I worry that a potential challenge you might face is you're going to be tempted to ignore this, and whatever this devil card is representing, and just say, look, these other things are in my control. I feel very in control of it. I know how to get better at it or increase my standing in it. And so you might get swept away with that and choose to not put any focus on this other area of life that you actually really, really want, but maybe don't know how to approach. But you're like, well, since I don't have that, I'm going to do what I can do to make other areas of my life, you know, successful or fulfilling. So what do I need to know to overcome this challenge? The Chariot represents this idea of like, be grounded, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. But it's also this idea of like, you've put in the work and you're already on the right track, so just like keep going. So I think instead of kind of gripping so hard and letting yourself focus all of your energy on this so that you aren't focusing energy on other areas that you really want, but maybe you're afraid for some reason to put energy into it, or to want it, or to say out loud that you want this. The way to overcome it is don't try to like change things up with that, whether it's like work, fitness, whatever. Just like keep doing what you're doing so that you do still have, okay, how do I explain this? Let's say you currently have this workout schedule and you work out 3 days a week and on the weekends do a walk. I don't know. And on that schedule, hey, that schedule still allows for you to hang out with friends and go on dates. And like there's room in your schedule, right, for other things in life. Don't this year, because you're unsatisfied with this other area or you're feeling really not fulfilled in it, don't have this be the year where you're like, well, I'm going to run a half marathon. And so I'm going to completely change my schedule so that all my life is just consumed by training for this half marathon. Like, don't change things up, right? Because then that gives you even more excuse to not pay attention to whatever this thing is that you're wanting, that you feel like you're not in control of, but baby, the cards are saying you do have control over it. So don't change things up just to distract yourself so that you can ignore the other needs and wants that you have in life. If you're on this good 3-day-a-week workout schedule, walking on the weekends, keep that. Because this is what you know, this is what comes, like you've built it into your routine. And this will allow you to give more energy to these other areas. Okay, so don't let yourself get swept away by this. Just keep on keeping on with what you're doing. Because yeah, right now it seems like it's not in a problematic space for you. Again, I think you're feeling helpless with something, but I don't think you're like overly distracting with other things, but you have the potential to do that. So to avoid getting to that point, just keep on doing what you're doing. And again, maybe it's like work. Maybe you're tempted to take extra shifts or apply to a new job, which would then require you to move and completely change everything else in your life because you're unsatisfied with this. No, just like keep doing what you're doing in those areas of life. Okay, what's a blessing I will receive this year? We've got our King of Swords. King energy, again, is like really confident, like they've made it. With King of Swords, we also have this element of like trusting your judgment, being fair, wisdom. They know what it took to get here. And they don't take that for granted, I'm going to say. Let me look at, well, I guess we can look at this. The king is keen and insightful. He takes the time to consider everything presented to him. He communicates clearly about everything, and he too holds strong boundaries with integrity. He knows that he has reached this position by working hard and doesn't take it lightly. When challenged in certain situations, this king knows now is not the time to be emotional. Get strategic, think about the bigger picture and long-term effects to clarify your thoughts, desires, or motives. Be confident to speak your truth and stand firm. Integrity, fairness, clear communication, authority, truth. So how is that a blessing? I think this year you're going to really know, what do I want? Back to this idea. What are you feeling kind of trapped in? What are you afraid to admit that you want? But I think you're going to be confident. You're going to become confident and like, hey, I do want this. And this is my truth, and I know how to communicate around it, and I know how to navigate this situation now. Kind of interesting for that being a blessing. Let me look at my other notes. Yeah, I just have that the King of Swords leads with integrity, logic, and clarity. Decisions should be well-informed and just. So you're going to be a confident decision maker. You know what you want. Let me know if this is resonating for you. I don't know. We might pull a clarifying card for that as well, because all of this, I can see how it fits with the reading, but then the King of Swords, I'm like, huh. And maybe you're screaming at me through the screen and you're like, girl, yeah, it's because I'm afraid right now to have like my heart on my sleeve. By the end of this year, I'm going to be confident in that and like expressing my needs, saying what I want. So the Devil, what do I need to know to move more in line with my soul purpose? Again, we talked about it earlier, but this idea of don't get bogged down or think that you're not in control of things when you are. Just like this girl is tied up. Okay, my deck doesn't have it. But it's like these people think that they're, oh, the devil has this hold on me. There's no chains on them. They just gotta get up and walk out. They just gotta get up and walk out. So again, I just think this idea of like taking ownership of like what you want and what you can do to actually make that happen. Life's not happening to you. You have a say. Okay, so theme for this year, we've got the raccoon inventor. Inventor. Decide on what you really want. You have the ingenuity to claim it. Avoid being the trickster and practice integrity. Wow, okay, so King of Swords, this is the right card. You have many roles and can juggle them well. Okay, fascinating. I feel like that goes with like, hey, you're a successful person, but you also have needs in other areas. Avoid being the trickster and practice integrity. When I think of integrity, I think of truthfulness, I think of honesty. So I'm wondering if you also need to like turn that inward on yourself, right? Be honest with yourself about what you're doing, what you want, what you can do to get this thing. Why, I think you need to really think about this. Why do you feel like you're trapped in this or that you have no control over this thing? So yeah, I'm wondering if this means like be truthful with yourself even and honest with yourself. Okay, let's pull a Taylor Swift song. White Horse. Okay, it's from her album Fearless. Lyrics, I'm not a princess, this ain't a fairy tale. I'm not the one you sweep off her feet later down the stairwell. This ain't Hollywood, this is a small town. Now it's too late for you and your white horse to come around. Honestly, in this song, she's been let down by this guy. She believed in him so much, and instead of being the knight in shining armor with his white horse coming to like save her and take care of her, he's just a letdown, and she realizes that like, okay, I can't rely on you and I have to rely on me. And at the end, well, at part of it, she's like, I'm gonna find someone someday who might actually treat me well. This is a big world, that was a small town. Like, you find her getting her power back. And I feel like that is maybe what's happening to you, is like, okay, you've had your time of moping. I say that with love. I say that with love. I say that as someone who freaking loves the Torture Poets Department album, okay? But you've had your time of like moping, and now in this next year, you're moving into your empowerment era. I'm empowered. I have a say. Yes, things didn't go that way in that situation, but like, I have control over my life and what happens and how I let things affect me. But again, I overall empowerment. So I think that's going to be some of your theme for this year. Okay, now we're going to pull a mindfulness card. So you've got green. Green is kindness. So let's see what kindness card we've got. Reflect joy. Tuning into the happiness and joy of others can help us cultivate happiness and joy in ourselves. Next time you notice beauty, lightness, or joy in someone, see if you can feel the reflection of their happiness and let it affect your own experience. This can sometimes be difficult, especially if we feel jealousy or resentment. So if those feelings come up, just think, that's interesting, and try to tune into happiness all the same. And as a bonus, tell someone who is lit up with happiness how lovely it is to see them so joyful. Interesting. Reflect joy. Yeah, the fact that I feel like, again, you're really wanting something and feel trapped in it, to me, what's standing out is this idea of like, hey, you might be resentful in the moment or jealous that they've got this thing that you do not. But yeah, if it comes up, that's interesting. Don't try to shame yourself. Don't try to close yourself off from those feelings. Just recognize it. Maybe later think about it. But I like this too. As a bonus, tell someone who is lit up with happiness how lovely it is to see them so joyful. That's great. Okay, I mean, I'm feeling like you're about to have a really empowered year, pile 3. Decide on what you really want. You have many roles and can juggle them well. You're going to be tempted to kind of let either work or health or fitness, whatever goals you have, maybe money saving goals, finances, maybe buying a house. So you're going to there's something that will be tempting to just be like, let me focus on this year and not have to focus on this area where I'm so wanting something, but maybe you're afraid to say it. So first up, got that pile 3. I gotta clear off this memory card. But okay, we were just doing the wrap up. Basically just saying this is gonna be a year of empowerment for you. First things first, you need to have a sit down with yourself and be honest about, where do I feel trapped in life and feel like I have this desire, but I'm unwilling to share what that desire is? Maybe you feel like there's things holding you back from this desire, but in reality you have full control over. Not full control over, but you have more control than you're currently letting yourself believe that you have. Don't let yourself get distracted with other things in life. You know, your goals, whether that's finances, health, fitness, buying a house, buying a car. Don't let yourself get so overwhelmed that you're ignoring your other needs and wants and desires. Be honest and truthful with yourself as well. Okay. Yeah. White Horse, that's your song for this year. Alrighty, pile 3. I hope you have a really great new year. Let me know down in the comments below if this message resonated for you and in what way. You should also save this and come back, like, I don't know, in a few months and be like, do you feel like this stuff is happening? I'd be so curious to know. All right, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to see more tarot videos, share it with a friend if you think they would like tarot videos as well, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.